YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We got another video here by Chibi Reviews. This video is called One Punch Man Season 3 is saved with Episode 2. Okay, seems like things are going up for One Punch Man. Let's check it out.
That is a PNG of Garo sliding down the hill. Oh my goodness. Like, we gotta replay that. We gotta really get like a close-in shot of that real quick. Like, you guys gotta see this, how this actually looks. So yeah, they actually put a low-quality PNG of Garo sliding down the hill. They couldn't be bothered to not just animate his legs, they couldn't even be bothered to use CGI, but if they wanted to emphasize that he's sliding down without walking, they could have put maybe some grass distortion underneath him and behind him, maybe some wind effect. Hell, they could have done a sound effect. But the fact that they did none of those showcases just how many corners are being cut with the...
No, of course. It's the thing that plagues our industry. It's time and mismanagement. Unfortunately, that's how every anime industry is. These guys love mismanaging our animes, and it sucks, bro. A really nice show like One Punch Man is getting mismanaged to this degree, and it's just so frustrating, bro. Like, why is it like this?
One Punch Man anime. Now, I want to be completely honest here. If this was the only scene that had a problem in this episode, I would honestly not care. I would overlook the scene. I might meme on it briefly, which, by the way, speaking of memes, there's already memes of this being made, which I think really just showcases the conversation around this episode.
This is why the internet was made, for this.
But with that being said, though, if this was the only scene that kind of looked like it had corners cut around its art animation, I would not really talk too much about it. But the fact that you have the opening of the episode begin like this, I think really is just telling. Like, I'm gonna play it. Like, the episode literally starts off, after the opening song, by the way, with this still frame paneling down with a voiceover, and at first it might not seem too bad, because still frames are common within anime.
Yes,
and obviously sometimes they can last 5 or so seconds. But this entire sequence with this voiceover lasts for 40 seconds. And once again, 40 seconds isn't too much.
It's not bad.
But when you factor in the episode length of it being 20 minutes long, okay? 20 minutes of footage, okay?
Oh, shit.
And you have multiple scenes kind of similar to this, then it starts to add up into minutes upon minutes long, to where most of the episode is just not even animated. And the fact that the opening of episode 2 is literally the scene of just still frames and panning over the still frame, and when the characters are doing the voiceover, like here, I'll even play it, the characters doing a voiceover, you hear them talking on like the radio or speaker, they can't even be bothered to add movement. There's not even CGI people in the back.
They failed us, honestly, with this whole season. They have literally failed us. This is Blue Lock. Honestly, this is how Blue Lock failed us. If this is your first time getting failed by anime series, welcome to the club.
Background moving or anything, it's just literally a voiceover with no character animation. And it would be so simple to bring something like this to life. It is so simple to be able to do something like this. But
bro, ask yourself, if it was that simple, why didn't they do it? It's because these people be cutting corners, bro. Like, and it sucks, you know. It really sucks because it makes the value proposition of like the anime for us to recommend people this show. We're only gonna say, dude, watch season 1 and then forget about the season. Literally, it's like how Promised Neverland is, Blue Lock, how it is, you know. That's how it is.
When you see a scene like this in the opening sequence of your episode, it's not a good look. And here's the thing, there is a lot of people that are actually praising this episode. A lot of people are saying that One Punch Man Season 3 is saved. It is amazing. It is much better. It is not bad anymore. And I'm gonna be honest, I completely disagree with that statement, and I will get into my full reasons in a moment. But the point is that this opening sequence is not a good look, especially for any episode of anime when it starts like this.
It's not that bad. I feel like a lot of anime series do this, but One Punch Man, yes, I know, it's not supposed to be like this, especially a series like this.
Especially for a series that's already being heavily criticized for lack of movement or lack of movement in animation for its first episode. And I think one of the obvious examples is this right here. Like, if you look very closely, you literally see these kids that are throwing rocks. They keep throwing the same rock over and over again. Like, look very closely. Like, you can just see that the rocks don't even change. There's not rocks even being removed from the hand. You can literally just see them grabbing the same rock. It's the same repeated...
I feel like also Chibi must also understand he's over analyzing the whole thing, which is a good thing to do, but at the same time you're gonna a lot of animes do this, bro. So it's not that deep as well. As for me, I feel like, you know, with a lot of shows, I'm thinking of The Beginning After the End. That show, I don't know if you guys know that anime, The Beginning After the End. That animation was terrible. But it's not that deep, bro. Like, you just kind of gotta get into it. And it is bad. It's bad, but, you know, it is what it is.
Art and animation over and over again for the sequence. And there is multiple times throughout this episode with the exact same thing. The same animation art on loop over and over. And this starts to add up throughout the entire episode. Like, there's moments that look legitimately good. Like, this Garo segment doesn't look too bad. But once again, you can still tell that it lacks a lot of, like, movement. Like, for instance, you have, like, the breathing scene right there. It's just a zoom-in shot with a brief little breathe segment. And then you see the scene with Saitama do the exact same thing, and then they do a zoom in on his face. There is clearly a lot of corners being cut, and it's they're trying to do any way they possibly can to limit the animation anywhere they possibly can, and that is very...
It makes you ask yourself the question of, like, what was going on in that time period of season 2 to season 3? Like, what the hell happened for them to now do all of this stuff last minute? It makes you ask the question of, like, why are these guys doing this shit last minute? You know, and it's so disappointing, unfortunately. That's what plagues our industry. The last minute heroes. They love doing this shit last minute. They love, you know, putting themselves in these last minute situations. And it really sucks. It's so hard to be an anime fan when you're watching a show and everything is last minute. And it's like, yo, dude, what the hell is happening? You know, it's so hard to kind of like envelop yourself in this show. It sucks, honestly. That's how, unfortunately, it's mismanagement. You know, it's mismanagement. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. But of course, it's just a heavy mismanagement. It's just the staff. I don't know what's happening. Like, literally, if I was a part of this show, I wouldn't want my name to be a part of this. Because it's like, yo, this is not what we're trying to aim for.
Concerning. You know? A lot of people have decided to say, okay, Chibi, the reason why they're doing this is because they want to save their time and budget and all that for...
Cap! That's bullshit. You know, that is bullshit. How do you save your time and money when your show is one of the biggest shows that are out there, but you want to save time and money by making your product rubbish? It's mismanagement. It's these people that honestly, you see, what happens is they will have a proper schedule. So they will have a schedule, right? They will have the 3 years. So then in that 3 years, there'll be one animation team that does it in a certain way. Once the director sees it, he's like, no, I don't like it, scrap it. So then time is wasted 1 year. Then another year, they have another animation team. And then I think they'll be like, no, we don't like certain things over here. Then when it's the final year, they realize that, oh shit, our anime is supposed to come out in the next 6 months or to a year. That's when they start rushing things. They take whoever is there, they start rushing it. And this is the results. Unfortunately, it's not some bullshit of, oh, they're trying to manage the time. Oh, they're trying to manage. No. It's mismanagement. It's the directors, it's the people on top which fuck up the whole shit. And then we'll be left with this slop, honestly. And that's how it is, bro. It's what plagues our industry.
The important scenes, like the art and animation. A lot of people are heavily coping with episode 1 and episode 2 of One Punch Man season 3 by saying that the reason why there's such limited animation for these segments is because they're wanting their staff to focus on important priority segments.
My friend, whoever is coping like that, wait. You will see the results. The important scenes will get the same treatment. One episode 1 is like this. All of the episodes are gonna be like that. I promise you. I've coped before in previous animations to the point where I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? And it just sucks, man. I don't even know what happens, bro.
Of the series. And I'm thinking to myself, first off, that's pretty disrespectful. You're pretty much saying that majority of One Punch Man is not important, and the only thing that legitimately is important is the action sequences.
Yeah.
That right there just feels very disrespectful because of the character acting and interactions you can have with the individual characters. I feel that's extremely disrespectful because there is a lot of series that are slice of life or action based that have
and that have way more animation, bro. Series that are not even as big as One Punch Man. One Punch Man, it was the top. It was gonna be the top 3 of animation of this decade.
Slice of life moments that look absolutely incredible. And obviously different teams, different studios, yada yada yada, but it does not change the fact. Just using the statement of, oh, they're only focusing on the important scenes or things that matter, yourself. I just feel inherently is disrespectful to the material. That's my takeaway on the matter. Now, let's actually look at the scenes that apparently people are saying is important to One Punch Man. So there is a scene at the end of the episode that actually doesn't look too bad. It is this entire segment here where we have a fight. Our first actual fight in the episode of One Punch Man Season 3. And this entire sequence, I'm not going to lie, it looks really good. I wouldn't say is anything that blows my mind. I would dare not put it in the same ballpark as One Punch Man Season 2 or Season 1. I obviously cannot compare it to Jujutsu Kaisen or Chainsaw Man or anything like that.
No,
and once again, I know it's completely different studios, but I think it is fair to compare this with Season 2 of One Punch Man. And I feel like the movement quality of this scene does reach into a similar tier close to One Punch Man Season 2, but I still feel like it is just shy of reaching that level of art and animation consistency.
It's like Sakamoto days. Like, yeah, literally, like, it reminds me of Sakamoto days. You know, I was thinking, you know, Sakamoto days, if it had a better studio, oh my god, that show would be the best. But, you know, unfortunately, for what it is, it's okay, you know? That's how,
cool.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are using this entire scene here that only lasts for about a minute at most, and using it as a way to defend this entire episode, and to defend and throw away any other critique that, you know, you could have with this episode. And I feel like that is such a bad thing to do with this show. And, like, let me give a very good analogy. You have a plate of shit and cake put in front of you. 90% of it's shit. 10% is delicious cake that you will absolutely love. Are you telling me you're going to eat that entire plate of shit and cake because 10% of it is good cake that you like? That is basically how I view this episode of One Punch Man. Is that majority of the episode is very limited, lacking in movement, it's not inspiring, it feels average to below average in many different areas, and One Punch Man does not deserve that. It deserves the same love and attention, not just at Season 2, but what modern action shows get. And as I've already said prior, One Punch Man is a dead ringer for a runaway success. It is an action series that is in a culture right now, in a community that wants a lot of action-orientated shows.
Yes.
Soul Leveling, Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen. Enough examples right there. And the fact that they can't even deliver fully to reach even a similar tier and realm of those, I think is pretty concerning.
Sad.
Now, once again, this is our first real look at action, and it's, like I said, it's not bad. But if you have to wade through absolute shit on a plate to be able to get to maybe 1% good, that doesn't mean the anime is saved.
Yeah, no, this series is a complete fail. It's a F. Because one thing people don't understand is that come next year, we will completely forget about One Punch Man and throw it away. Because we're going to be like, no, this is rubbish. You know, because that's the one thing is us remembering. You know, how do we remember? And it aging. You know, come 5 years down the line, bro, will this look good? It won't. I'm telling you, bro. Like, that's the one thing which these animation studios forget. Is that overall, like, I'm still comparing Naruto when Naruto was versing Pain to a lot of anime series, because that animation style had care, it had uniqueness. For 2012 animation, it was on fire. Whereas now we're comparing it to this stuff, it's kind of like, oh my god, bro, this is now, like, what the hell was happening in those studios? Because it is very disappointing. It's something that we don't want. We want je ne sais quoi. We want creme de la creme. We want something which is peak anime. We don't want this rubbish bullshit, because it makes us sad. It makes us very frustrated with stuff like this.
Anime is good. No. it's very obvious that the staff that's working on One Punch Man does not have a lot of time to do everything they want.
Exactly. Say my same statements as I always say. Two things: time and mismanagement. This one is mismanagement. This is not time. This is no. There's no time that was wasted. These guys had enough time. They didn't do this shit in a year. They did it after a while, maybe after 3 to 4 years. So they mismanaged this whole fucking show. They mismanaged it. They completely fucked it up. They fucked it up, honestly.
Already went on record in last week's episode review that I don't blame the staff. I'm not blaming the director. I'm not blaming the animators for what is going on here. I am blaming the production committee. I'm blaming the head honchos at top that did the scheduling, that forced this out like it did. It's very obvious that One Punch Man needed to be cooked longer, but it was not given enough time. And it's just, this is a very good example of a series that could have been so successful, but it's not probably going to be. The fact that there is a lot of mixed opinions and a negative conversation around the series.
I'm telling you, as much as there's mixed conversations right now, let's give it a year. Let's give it 6 months, especially when it comes to next year, because next year there's new stuff. By next year, we'll forget about the show, bro. We're gonna forget about it. Trust me, dude. Like, people move on. Like, that's the one thing which people don't understand. Like, especially when you're making anime, people move on. I'm thinking of shows like The Rising of the Shield Hero. That show was amazing, but it's boring. Season 4 is freaking boring. It can have all the animation stuff and whatever, but it's boring. It's out of time. You know, you can't make a show with terrible animation. Terrible animation kills your show. It's gonna destroy it. It's gonna make it not be mainstream anymore. And that's why Demon Slayer will always be taking the crown for everything, because they focus on what animation, bro.
Even talking about my conversation around it, I think says enough. That there should not even be a lot of negativity about One Punch Man Season 3, because this is fundamentally one of the best arcs of the entire manga, and the fact that you already have this type of conversation around it is concerning. It's damning, and it's not a good look. It's not. And it really kind of irritates me to a degree that people are willing to eat absolute shit to just watch a 1-minute segment that is kind of halfway decent. I mean, it's not bad, but I've seen so much better, even just from One Punch Man alone. And I'm just like, yeah, not good. It's really not good. People are really coping, man. They're really coping.
I mean, that's anime in 2025, bro. I also had to cope with Blue Lock in the beginning of the year. After Blue Lock, I also had to cope with The Promised Neverland. It's how it is. We love the show so much that we would take the shit anime. But unfortunately, this is what makes the show die. You know, the show's gonna die. Not many people are gonna recommend it. It's just gonna die. Mainstream is very important, especially with anime. A lot of people don't really watch anime, so it's trying to go to the mainstream portion. I'm thinking, bro, just recently we had the biggest box office of Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer killed it. Why can't One Punch Man do the fucking same? Motherfuckers.
And hoping that this is going to get better. But I'm going to be honest with you, man. When you have stuff that adds up with all these still frames throughout this episode, and then this is our only glimpse of it, it's just... As a One Punch Man fan, it makes me sad. It makes me very sad. Because I say this as a fan, as a passionate fan of One Punch Man. I'm not hating on this episode or even critiquing it out of malice or just straight up hatred because I hate One Punch Man. I love One Punch Man. It's amazing. It's an incredible story. It deserves so much better than what it's getting. And that is why I talk about it like I do right now, because it is disappointing. We have waited years, 6+ years, to see this.
6 years. Bro, I'm telling you, they just started making this show last year. They didn't, like, that's how it is, bro. That's how like, if you know it's 6+ years, they just started making this shit literally last year. It's not even about them having 6 years to do it. They started making this show, animating everything last year. The manga was already done. It's not about the story. They started animating last year. I promise you, I swear to God, bro. That's how these animation studios do. That's what they do. That's unfortunately what they do. It is what it is. That's how it is, bro. I remember, because we were freaking out, I think, around when was this? Early this year, around June, July, because we started seeing like a few snippets of the show, and we started comparing it to the manga, and people were like, "Wait, something is off. Something is really, really, really off." And that's when you know the animation studio started animating this shit literally last year. It's not that they started 2 years ago. No, 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 no. That's bullshit. Last year is when they started making this show. Last year is when they started doing all of this stuff. And now this year they had crunch time and they realized, oh shit, we have a year to do all of this shit. And this is what you guys get. That's how it is, bro. Mismanagement.
And it does not feel like the wait was worth it.
Yeah.
Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm right? Do you think it's going to get better with the next episode? Be honest in the comments.
No. Yeah, no. It won't get better. It won't. It won't. It won't. I've seen this too many times. I've seen this too many freaking times. Good, perfect example. Blue Lock. Blue Lock came earlier this year. Season 1 comparing it to season 2 is like night and day, bro. It won't get better. Unfortunately, that's how it is. That's how the cookie crumbles. These shows, bro, I don't know what happens, bro. I don't know, bro. Like, literally, 6 years to do an anime, but they just fumble. They just flop. It's how it is, bro. It's how it is, man. Mismanagement. These guys literally give these guys a certain time to do all of these things, and the time is too short, you know? Why couldn't they start animating this show literally 5 years ago? You know, because I don't know, bro. It's not about money, because these people made their money. This show's on Netflix. This show is everywhere. You know, merchandise. You can imagine how much merchandise this show freaking makes. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Just the mismanagement and all of that, bro, just really fucks it up. You guys tell me what you guys think, but this, for me, this is disappointing. This is rubbish. This is what is gonna kill a lot of shows and our industry. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.